Steve, I'm just going to check with you to make sure it's up and running. I'll just say, hey, how you doing? And you'll say, good to be here. Okay.
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Bison Broadcast. We're going to focus on a lot of things revolving the commencement ceremony at Sunset Drive-In. Mr. Pizzo, you'll be joining us with some instructions and some important dates later. How's everything going for you?
Yeah, it's great to join you again. I was on the very first broadcast and glad to be back.
All right, Mr. Pizzo, not only are you joining us, but we have our Education Association president, our union president, and teacher, Kelly Clark. Kelly, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And lastly, we have our school police officer, Mike Fox, who's going to be joining us. He brings many years of experience as a Pennsylvania State police officer, so he brings a lot of understanding and knowledge of safety and security. Officer Fox, welcome to this week's Bison Broadcast.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And guys, if you haven't seen our broadcast, hopefully y'all have. We have a senior spotlight that we finish with each week. So seniors and senior parents and guardians, if you haven't already, please make sure you send those in because we're running out of time. We're only going to have a couple more weeks of these Bison broadcasts left. And we want to make sure that we celebrate and highlight what your future plans are. And we're going to finish this week's broadcast like we always do by spending some time reviewing our seniors and some of their plans. So we'll look forward to that. Getting started, we talked about we're going to focus on our Sunset Drive-In experience. Remember, this is that private premiere showing. So this is just like a, select cities, red carpet affair. So we're really excited to spend a couple days celebrating the class of 2020 and their commencement. In fact, today we spent time recording the speeches of our student presenters, our different students that are involved in that part of the ceremony, our valedictorian, salutatorian. And if you look over my shoulder, you can see the setup. We did the honors convocation, and we filmed that over the last 2 weeks. That'll be coming out on Wednesday evening, and this week at 7. And, we talk about, doing different things to celebrate these students and just all that they have brought to Fort LaBeouf. And, so we're really excited about that. And, the only thing that's holding us back this year with our premiere at the Sunset Drive-In is there is some limited participation and some requirements that are involved. So we're going to talk about those in just a few minutes when we bring in some of our guests. And then, we're going to also release on Facebook the link to the graduation ceremony and the commencement ceremony that's going to be, at Sunset. So that'll be something that you can do with extended family. And we're going to talk about that as well. So let's jump right into it. Officer Fox, we are committed to making this a memorable event. We've been working, reaching out to state, local, federal, health officials, trying to get their input to make sure that we're taking all the steps necessary to make sure not only is this a memorable and distinguished, exciting event for our graduates and their families, but also, making sure that we're considering safety. So, Officer Fox, you've been brought to Fort LaBeouf with all your years of experience and expertise. And safety is generally almost always your number one priority. If you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, safety and security has always been our priority at the school district. I work day in and day out with Mr. Pizzo, and now we find ourselves in some different uncharted waters. And it's the belief and of the school district administration, Mr. Emmerich, that we have to include health now. So health, security, and safety are going to be our guiding principles when we're out planning for this event. And all the planning that me and Mr. Pizzo and yourself have done revolves around, making that event safe and healthy for all the student, staff, and our community.
All right, very good. Yeah, thank you for all that you've done. I know that there's many steps that we've changed in just the logistics of our buildings, the procedures that we have in place. There's things that you bring from a safety and security position and experience that the rest of us don't see as educators. So you've been invaluable to that, making sure that we have the safest, healthiest environment for our students. So as we get started with this virtual ceremony and what's going on, first of all, we need to explain to people that there are capacity restrictions. It's not unlimited. Even when we were in the gymnasium, in the auditorium, when we had that, we had the closed caption video inside the auditorium for our parents and grandparents. We still maxed out around 1,800 people between the gymnasium and the auditorium. So there's always going to be restrictions in place. Generally, what happens is graduates get a number of tickets that they are able to pass out. And again, it's not unlimited. There's always been restrictions. So this is nothing new. In this particular case, though, the restrictions are a little different. If you can expand upon those, Officer Fox.
Yeah. Pardon me for the wind. It's getting a little heavy here. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you have a beautiful, I'm sitting in a school building again, so I'm a little jealous. You're out there. It looks like you have a beautiful scene behind you.
Yeah, just taking it in today. Yeah, the sunset, as everybody knows, or most people know, it's pretty expansive as far as how many people we can really get in there. So we're going to be limited to the amount of vehicles that we can actually get into the facility. We got to maintain our buzz terms that we hear every day, our social distancing, and these are things that are going to limit, obviously, the amount of people and vehicles that we can have at the actual viewing of the graduation. They're going to be a rule of one vehicle per senior, and please make it so that we get to the venue safely. Don't have one vehicle and try to stuff 12 people into that vehicle unless it's rated for 12 people. We want to make sure everybody gets there safely and can actually partake in this unusual and hopefully outstanding event.
Yeah, you mentioned we're going to talk specifically. You'll let us know exactly what kind of vehicles we can use, which ones they're permitted. And I think if I'm hearing you right, you don't want the clown car experience where somebody pulls in and 15 people are stuffed inside like they used to see at the circus.
Yeah, that's correct. We just want to make sure everybody's getting there in one piece and is doing it safely so they can make the best of this.
Now, we realize, guys, that there's a lot of people in your life. You don't get there alone. You don't get there all by yourself. It takes a village to raise a person. And, there's grandparents, there's aunts, uncles, special friends, other relatives, neighbors, different people that have had wonderful influences on your lives. And we appreciate that. And our recommendation is to use that June 4th 7:00, have a watch party, like we talked about having an honors convocation watch party on Wednesday, tomorrow evening at 7:00 when that's released for honors convocation. We're talking about do that same thing. So only bring your immediate people that you live with, your mom, your dad, your guardian, people that can fit safely with the seatbelt in your vehicle on June 3rd. And then on June 4th, that's when you're going to have the watch party. That's when you can celebrate, watch it again, and expand that audience to include some of those other loved ones that are in your life. So, Mr. Pizzo, there's a process that we've put in place. I know you've been working with Officer Fox. You've been working closely with Mrs. Humphreys, also Superintendent Emmerich, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Wolfram, and myself. So we have a bunch of things in place. What's our process that we need to follow?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Rimpa. Yesterday, you all should have received an email from Mrs. Humphreys. If you haven't checked your email yet, please do so. There's just a real simple RSVP in there, whether you plan on coming to graduation or you do not plan on coming to graduation. So please fill that out and email that back to Mrs. Humphreys by Friday, the 22nd. Because of the limited number of vehicles, they were talking about it's pretty expansive, but we cannot have the venue filled. I think, somewhere around 300 was the number. We cannot have that. They have to operate at a much lower capacity. So we need to have an RSVP. So please fill that out and get that back to Mrs. Humphreys. Now, on May 29th, when you come to the school to drop off your Chromebook, your charger, any other school materials, books that you may have, you're going to get an official ticket, which will provide your entry into the graduation ceremony. So it'll be a pretty big one. It'll be displayed on the dash of your car. So when you have to RSVP, so we know how many to have ready for the 29th when you pick it up. And then when you go to the drive-in, you got to have that ticket on the dashboard because the people at the gate allowing you in will be able to take a quick glance, see that ticket, and know that you're permitted in. If you don't have a ticket, I'm sorry, you just can't get in. So please, you have to fill out that RSVP to get your ticket on the 29th to get you into the ceremony.
Yeah, and that ticket can be a bit of a keepsake. There's going to be different things going on. We will not be able to hand out items at the graduation or at the commencement at the sunset, just to limit the amount of interaction and back and forth. So what we'll do is in a much more controlled, safer environment, our superintendent, Mr. Emmerich, our assistant superintendent, Dr. Wolfram, Mr. Pizzo, you, me, we're going to do a visit of each senior, and we'll be hand delivering their diplomas. So we'll have a moment for a picture of when they're actually receiving that. And that'll be the week after this week. So I think it's between June 8th and the 12th. So look forward to that. We'll let you know our path and the direction that we're going, so that you know when to expect us. And there'll be a moment for a photo, but that'll be a much more controlled, much more, smaller atmosphere and smaller, though everything within it will be much more able for us to take care of, following all of our restrictions. And that's when we'll bring the graduation program, and we'll bring all of your school materials home to you, like your final report card, your diploma, any awards that you might be recognized. Again, I keep referencing our honors convocation. There's many of you that are receiving scholarships. Those will be mailed out to you, but the actual plaques, we of course are doing those. So we'll have plaques for those of you that are magna cum laude and summa cum laude. We'll also have plaques for outstanding seniors and outstanding scholars, valedictorian, salutatorian, commencement speakers. So all those things will be brought around to you personally. We just didn't feel that mailing them was special enough. Again, this is a very dignified, formal event, and we just didn't want to hand them out haphazardly or put them in the mail. So we'll be bringing those around personally. So something else to look forward to. So, when we move on, we start talking about some of the restrictions that we have, and we talked about the vehicles. So Officer Fox, if you could talk a little bit about the vehicles that are being used and the ones that are permitted into the venue.
Sure. We're looking at standard size vehicles. I've had some experience coming down to the Sunset, and it really gets crazy when somebody brings a very large pickup truck and parks in front of you. Kind of lessens your enjoyment. You're always looking around that vehicle. So if you could please, and when you're trying to decide which vehicle you're going to bring to the graduation, if you can make it something on the smaller side, if it's permitted, as far as for your family. SUVs are good. Standard size pickup trucks are good. Minivans, conversion vans. No motorcycles are going to be permitted. Tractors, RVs, as far as a drivable RV, we don't want to see those. Those are the types of vehicles we want to be seen in and used for this type of venue. Once you get to the venue, there's going to be some rules. Unfortunately, I'm going to let you know that you cannot sit outside your vehicle. A lot of people want to bring chairs when they come to the drive-ins. That's not going to be permitted. You're going to be in your vehicle. There's going to be people constantly walking around the venue, and if they see you outside their vehicle, they're going to ask you to please return to the vehicle. You can't come out of the vehicle. If you have to go to the restrooms, the restrooms will be available. However, they're going to be one person at a time. There'll be a line outside. There'll be 6-foot distances, and it'll be monitored and basically controlled. No canopy tents outside. This goes hand in hand with the seating, and we don't want to have tailgates going on. Don't bring your hibachi grills and start cooking hot dogs. It's just, this isn't the place. It is the place, but it's not really the time, especially in these days. No fireworks, no personal fireworks of any sort. I know you want to find a way to celebrate when your child's name is called. Flashing the lights at the screen is not one of those ways, nor is fireworks. Again, there's going to be people parking you. Be aware that there's going to be a lot of people walking around the venue when you're entering, so we don't want anybody getting hit. So please exercise that extra caution as well. Additionally, when we exit the venue, we're going to do that in a row-by-row fashion. That stretch of Route 97 outside there can be a little bit hazardous. Again, this is a school event. We don't want this to reflect poorly on our district. So we're going to be in control of that. So those are the rules that I can think of right now. I don't believe I'm missing anything. I could be, but if you think of something, Mr. Rimpa, just bring it up. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, thank you, Officer Fox. In fact, you bring up a very good point. This is a school function. This is a all school rules apply. So you need to understand, just like if you're at a football game or if you're at a baseball game, if you're at a basketball game, just because we're outside, think of, the same school rules apply. So there should be no tobacco. There should be no alcohol. There should be no vaping. All of our normal school rules apply because this is a school function. And again, this is a formal event. This is a special event. This is something that you have worked so hard for as a graduate. And as a mom and as a dad, you're so proud of your sons and daughters, and we are too. And we want to make sure that this is memorable and special, but above all, dignified. This is a dignified event. So please don't take away from someone else's name. Remember, this is going to be a recording. It's not live. So if you start flashing the lights, you're going to take away from another senior. And that's just not fair. That's not what we're doing this for. The seniors said to us, we wanted to be together. When we did the poll and we had them vote, they said overwhelmingly, over 70% of you said, we want to be at the drive-in so that we can experience this together. We're not completely together like we are maybe in the auditorium or the gymnasium, but at least we're together and we're all in the same place. And the other thing that you guys said, the second most option that received the second most amount of votes was being with your parents. So we're trying to combine this. So you're with mom and dad, you're with your primary guardian, and you're able to enjoy this together for the debut, and then again on the next night, that Thursday evening. Now you can do it with the extended family. So again, please just make sure you're thinking about those things. Think about those around you. Remember, the 6-foot distance is still required. So we are required to have 6 feet between each vehicle. That's why we continue to emphasize, if you can bring, standard size, normal size vehicles, that's going to greatly help us in order to get people in there. And if you're not coming, as Mr. Pizzo talked about earlier, and you say, hey, we're not going to be able to make the drive-in, or for personal reasons, we're not going to attend, then that may open up a parking place or two for somebody that has those really strong extenuating circumstances that may help. But for the most part, everyone needs to plan on just one vehicle per graduate. Anything else, Officer Fox, that you want to add before we move on to the next part?
I believe that masks when you leave the vehicle are going to be necessary.
Yes.
So,
And that's only for restrooms, right, sir?
Yes, there's not going to be, the snack bar is not going to be open. There's no other reason to get out of your vehicle other than using the restroom.
In fact, that's a good point. Please don't chug a big 2-liter of soda pop or Gatorade or coffee before, because we want to limit the amount of restroom usage. We'll have those monitored. They'll only be allowed one person in at a time, and it'll be wiped down on the outside when you leave. So with regards to handles and things. So please, make sure that you're thinking about those types of things. Just like a long road trip. The ceremony will be a little over an hour. So hopefully between getting there, parking, enjoying the ceremony, and then getting out, probably going to put a plan on a couple hours. So please stay away from the large soft drinks that day. All right, Mr. Pizzo, if you could talk a little bit about some of our important dates and things for our seniors and, for them to look forward to.
Yeah, thanks again. Wednesday, tomorrow, your honors convocation will be coming up. We recorded that over the last couple days. It's it's one of our favorite nights of the year to honor all the students who are getting scholarships and all the academic awards, and so that'll be released tomorrow, Wednesday. It'll hit our Facebook at 7:00. So make sure you tune in to see that. On Friday, the 22nd, in addition to getting your RSVP in for attending graduation, that'll be your last academic day for the seniors. The teachers are going to give you the assignments, and then that'll be your last academic day. Remember, the seniors always end a little bit earlier than the underclassmen. So this Friday will be the last day. And then the following week on the 29th is when you will be coming to the school to drop off your Chromebooks, all of your school materials. It's where you'll get your graduation ticket. You want to come up to the front of the high school, sort of like you did when you picked up your cap and gown, between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Just come in and drop that off. We'll have you drop that stuff off. We'll give you the ticket and then be on your way. And then Monday on June 1st will be our virtual baccalaureate, and that will be at 7:00 p.m.
All right. Yeah. Looking forward to all those things. Make sure that you RSVP, folks, so that you can get that ticket. If you don't RSVP, then we're not going to have a ticket for you, and we'll have to, go through some extra steps that, we hope not to. So please make sure you're taking care of business. Next, Mr. Pizzo, some things that are going on for recognizing our senior athletes.
Sure. We've had some virtual recognition nights for all of our senior athletes, as you can see there on the screen. That those are all completed. The boys volleyball, track and field, baseball, unified track on May 1st, and then softball on May 8th, just to recognize those seniors who had a tough go of it this season. Be the Light on Wednesday the 20th is all the county schools are going to light up their stadiums at 8:20. 8:20 is in military time is called 2020. So because of the class of 2020, at 8:20 they're going to light up their stadiums. They're going to leave them lit for 20 minutes. On the scoreboard, they're going to have the score 20-20, and it's a way to honor all of those students. If you have a blue light at home, a blue light bulb, around the county, they're going to try and put them in their outside lights. If you have maybe a motion light on your garage or your porch, stick it in there for that night, or put it on, if you have a back porch or something, just another symbol to light up our night. Please do not come to the stadium to see this. We have to still take into account our social distancing. We're still, under strict guidelines, but it's going to be a symbolization, a representation, just a way to honor the students who have that athletic season that they couldn't participate in.
Yeah, and as far as that Be the Light, blue lights here in Fort LaBeouf, I love how you mentioned all around the county. I don't know if some of our neighbors that are red or yellow, if they'll be putting the blue lights out, Mr. Pizzo, but I like your spirit, make them all LaBeouf blue and just be done with it, right?
Of course.
Well, we're going to have blue lights here in our district, and some of the others might have other colors for their school colors. But even if you don't have the blue lights, just put on the porch lights. Put them on, light up your home, and that's a symbol telling all of our athletes, not just our seniors, but all of our spring athletes that lost out on that season, hey, we're thinking of you. It's a symbol of hope and a symbol of recognition that all of Erie County is going to be participating in. So that should be really nice. I believe you and Mr. Barton have been working on that. In fact, you might even, if the students go onto Facebook, they might at 8:20, they might even be able to see a live view of that, and might even have some special things planned.
Yeah, that's it's in the works. We're hoping to get a drone to fly over the stadium, and then kind of hover at the scoreboard, and there might be a little surprise on that scoreboard. So if you tune into that, we're working on that as we speak.
But do that from home. Do that from your phones. Please don't come to the stadium. We'll have to ask you to leave. And then speaking of, this is one of our senior recognition slides. This is on our high school Facebook page. This is also out on our high school webpage. You see our 4 seniors from this year's team. And boy, I was looking forward to seeing these young ladies perform. They are all outstanding student athletes and outstanding students in the classroom as well. Ellie Dinsmore, Brittany Arndt, Caitlin Lander, and Morgan Donnell. Congratulations to you ladies. Thank you for all that you contributed to Fort LaBeouf over the last 4 years. We look forward to your graduation, and we look forward to you guys moving on to bigger and better things. And a couple of you, I believe Morgan for sure is moving on to play softball at Edinburgh. So congratulations, ladies, and be on the lookout for the track and field, which is out there as well. Next, we have another special guest, Mrs. Clark, who is our union president and also a wonderful teacher here in the high school, who came up with this program with her and some of the other teachers. They approached Mr. Emmerich, and of course, he was completely on board. If you want to talk a little bit about how that's going, I know I've seen a lot of things on social media, Mrs. Clark.
Yeah, it's been a really wonderful program. I had a few people reach out to me with some different ideas for the faculty and staff of Fort LaBeouf to honor our seniors. We know that it hasn't exactly been a typical end to the school year for them, and maybe wasn't everything that they had hoped for. So we thought as a faculty and staff that we would adopt a senior for the last few weeks of school. And so we put out a request for teachers and staff to adopt a senior. And in less than 48 hours, every single one of our seniors, all 170 of them, were adopted by a staff member of Fort LaBeouf. And I believe on the next slide, we have some pictures that show some of the gifts that have gone out. We've been posting these on Facebook and our new high school Instagram page. If you haven't followed that yet, please search for us. It's FLB_HS. That's our Instagram. And also we're on the high school Facebook page. So you can see some of the wonderful gifts that teachers and staff members have delivered. We've practiced our social distancing guidelines and worn masks when we've delivered these things. And the students have been very appreciative. The families have really enjoyed that interaction. And we look forward to continuing that over the next few weeks. So pretty exciting program. We're really, really thrilled with how it took off. And we think that the students have really appreciated it. And I think maybe those of us who are the gift givers are getting as much out of it, if not more, as the students are getting, because it's been really special. So
Yeah, thank you for that idea and for your team of teachers putting that together. That's not just high school teachers, right, Mrs. Clark?
no, it's K to 12. It's service personnel. We have secretaries and classroom aides and some bus drivers and even some administrators called me and asked if they could hop in on the fun. And so really every single person from K to 12 and from every department at Fort LaBeouf is represented as somebody who wanted to show some care and concern and love to those students who are graduating this year. So it was really exciting.
Yeah, the results have been just awesome. I know a few parents have reached out to me, literally with tears in their eyes, Mrs. Clark, just because it meant so much for them. And you see one of our signs there. That's from our FLB Foundation. There's another organization that wanted to do something special for our students, and just the Kiwanis is literally involved very closely with our commencement ceremony at sunset. In fact, they're already making plans to decorate and turn the Sunset Drive-In into a pure Fort LaBeouf event that evening. So a lot of great things happening. And speaking of great things and fun things happening, how about this, Mrs. Clark? If you want to share a little bit, I believe you and some of our moms in the neighborhood in Fort LaBeouf that are interested in doing some things to create some more memories.
Yes, this was an idea that I partnered with Kristen Dawn, who is a teacher at our elementary school and also one of our senior moms. And she had a group of other senior mothers who were interested in seeing some more fun activities for the students. And so her and I had worked on this and got some input from Mrs. Humphreys as well to help us out, and also some input from your group of seniors, your advisory committee that you had put together of some seniors to see if they were interested in what we were proposing, and they made some requests to add to this. So starting the week of the 25th, we will have a theme for each day, and so you can see those there on the slide. On Monday, we're asking that students submit a photo of their favorite Fort LaBeouf memory. On Tuesday, any senior can go up to Mr. Shivers during their hours. I believe it's 11:30 to 9 o'clock. They will have a list of all of our seniors. They can bring their ID and they'll get a free small cone. On the 27th, on Wednesday, we are going to have a graduation cap decorating contest where the students will submit those pictures. They usually like to decorate their caps anyway, and this is a way for them to let everybody see those. And also the top 3 caps will win prizes. On Thursday, we're having a throwback Thursday. We're asking you to submit your favorite pictures from elementary or middle school to us. And then on Friday, when you come to turn in your materials, we're doing a rock out FLB where we paint the rocks and hide them around town. So from now until then, we ask our students as they're painting their rocks to send us pictures. All of these pictures can start being submitted right away today as soon as you see the Bison broadcast. We'll also be sending some more details out to the seniors through email that gives a little bit more description. All those photos will be submitted to Mrs. Tarr. She's our favorite neighborhood librarian, so all of the students know her. She's done a phenomenal job of maintaining that Instagram and Facebook posts that have gone out for Adopt a Senior. Her email is right there on the screen. You can start submitting photos right away today of all of your Monday memories, your graduation caps, your rock outs, and your memories from elementary and middle school. And then on Tuesday, when you go up and enjoy your cone, send those in as well, and we'll get those posted on Instagram and Facebook. Every single time you send us a photo, every time you enter a photo for us to post, you will be entered into a drawing, and we'll be giving away a variety of gift cards and small prizes and things like that as well. So check your school email. We'll send out all the full details. Make sure if you haven't followed us on Facebook and Instagram that you do so. And just enjoy this. We think that it's going to be really kind of fun to see those memories and little opportunities that we're putting out there to going up on Facebook and Instagram for all of our seniors.
Yeah, another way to create some memories and spend some time together and have some community, even though we're still, for the most part, forced to be apart. We still can celebrate some of those. Now, on to our senior spotlight. Officer Fox, if you could get us started.
Yes, senior Natalie Alexander will be attending Laurel Technical Institute in Meadville to continue her studies.
Congratulations, Natalie. Mr. Pizzo.
Congratulations, Andrew Lichtinger, attending West Virginia University. And thank you in the future for your service.
Next, we have Jacob Stedman. He'll be attending Edinburgh University in the fall for graphic design. Congratulations, Jacob, and good luck.
Caleb McWilliams will be attending Rosedale Technical College in the fall and Diesel Technology Program. Congratulations, Caleb, and good luck.
Next, we have Caitlin Kayla. She is going to be attending Edinburgh University for early childhood development and special education. Wonderful career option. I congratulate her on that, and I hope that you have wonderful success at Edinburgh.
And then Mr. Pizzo, some students of note from our National Honor Society organization, if you want to just point out a little bit about what's going on here.
Sure. Just wanted to take a moment to congratulate these 6 young ladies for their outstanding commitment to service. They have gone above and beyond the required 25 hours and have done 75 hours of community service. So congratulations, Olivia Burtis, Anna Garvey, Hannah Keel, Katrina Kreider, Ilani Merkel, and Cassidy Tech. Way to give back to the community. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Absolutely. Thank you guys for donating so much time back to our community. And that brings us to the end of our broadcast. So excited. We had to bring a lot of rules and regulations, but again, safety and security is our number one priority. We really appreciate all of our guests. Officer Fox, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Not that I have any. Just want everybody to stay happy and stay healthy.
Thank you, sir, for all that you bring to Fort LaBeouf. Mr. Pizzo, any words of wisdom before we finish things up?
No words of wisdom right now. Just if you have any questions, just always feel free to send us an email, and we'll do our best to answer that for you.
And Mrs. Clark, how about you?
Just keep those pictures coming in from your Adopt a Senior gifts. We love seeing those and can't wait to post them. And then get started right away sending us those pictures for the Senior Celebration Week. We look forward to getting those as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and that reminds me, one more plug for the Senior Spotlight, right, Mrs. Clark? We want to make sure that our students and their families are sending those photos in. We want to celebrate everybody and everybody's decision, whatever your decision is, whatever your plan is for when you leave. We want to highlight that. We want to recognize you. We're proud of you. We love that of our students are going into the workforce. Some of them are going into the military. Some are going into college and different types of programs. And we love that diversity. It just shows the kind of quality and outstanding students that are graduating from Fort LaBeouf every year. So thank everybody for joining us. Congratulations to the class of 2020. And we'll see you guys at the end of the week, as our seniors must be excited because this Friday is their last day. So congratulations to you guys.